In this video, you will learn about conic sections, specifically the circle. A conic section is formed when a right circular cone with two parts is intersected by a plane. And thank goodness there's a nice picture here because I cannot draw in 3D to save my life. So if the plane intersects it diagonally through only one cone, it's called a parabola. The cross section, you can see that We've already talked about circles earlier, and the standard form of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. In this case, the vertex is hk and the radius is r. We also know that if it just says x squared plus y squared equals r squared, that our center is going to be 0, 0, and our radius will still be r. And we know that if it's not in this standard form, we're going to have to complete the square, which is why we just reviewed that. So let's take a look at a circle. X minus 4 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 9. Now remember, because there is a minus sign in the standard form of the circle, our center is actually going to be positive 4 and negative 1. And that's because of that minus sign. So it's opposite of what you think. And our radius is 3. So let's plot that. There's our center, 4, negative 1. And we'll go 3 in each direction, and we'll sketch our circle. So let's look at a couple more examples. We want to make sure it's in standard form. We want to find the center and the radius and then sketch it. So in this case, we notice we don't have an x minus h or a y minus k. So our center is just 0, 0. And our radius, since r squared is 36, our radius is 6. So that one's pretty straightforward. Okay, let's look at this next example. We have x minus 3 squared plus y plus 5 squared equals 4. So our center is going to be positive 3 and negative 5. And the radius, since r squared is 4, the radius is 2. What does that look like? 3, negative 5 is our center. And then we'll go 2 in each direction. Okay, I have another one here, but the graph is on the next page, so let me transfer it. Okay, so we have x squared plus y squared plus 6x minus 2y equals 6. Clearly, this is not in the standard form that we need it to be able to look at it and know what's the center and what's the radius. So we're going to have to complete the square. So the first thing I'm going to do is collect my x's, x squared plus 6x, and I'm going to leave a blank there. And then I'm going to put my y's, y squared minus 2y plus blank equals 6 plus blank plus blank. Okay, so I actually have to complete the square twice, once for the x's and once for the y's. So in this case, half of 6 is 3, and 3 squared is 9, so we'll add 9 to each side. And half of negative 2 is negative 1, squared is 1, so we'll add 1 to each side. So now I notice that this is a perfect square trinomial, and it will factor as x plus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 16. So this would be our conic form of the circle, or our standard form. The center, we can see, is going to be negative 3 and positive 1, which is right here. And our radius, since r squared is 16, our radius is going to be 4. So we'll go 4 in each direction, and then we'll sketch our circle. Okay, I have one more. For this one, we won't sketch it, but we will find our center and radius. So a little more practice completing this square. If you like, you can pause your video and see how you do. It's going to look like this. Collecting our x's. Collecting our y's. And moving our constant to the other side. Half of negative 16 is negative 4. Squared is 16. Half of 14 is 7. Squared is 49. We now have x minus 4 squared plus y plus 7 squared equals 33. So this is our standard or conic form. Our center is positive 4, negative 7. And our radius, since r squared is 33, our radius is the square root of 33. That concludes this video on the circle.